TV, Freak Up Studio, live. 2022 GSL Season 3.
What is up, everybody? We hope you had an excellent Korean Thanksgiving. And some exciting news here. Artosis is back.
I thought that I was going to be okay letting you cast with a hotter, younger caster. And then when I was watching you guys, I just bought a plane ticket, Tasteless, and here I am.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be here forever, but
I did experiment with a hotter, younger caster, but it made me just realize how much more I love you, Artosis.
yeah,
So,
yeah. This is our second caster marriage. It's not going to last forever, but
no. But there's a lot of passion there. That's what we can't get over, really.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be going into the round of 10. Again, we had a full week off, and Artosis was getting settled in over in Canada.
Yeah. But now I'm getting resettled in back over here.
Yes.
I'm a little bit jet lagged, but I'm doing all right, Tasteless.
Yeah, the jet lag can be brutal, man. But by the way, I think State did an excellent job for all the casting for the round of 20.
Yeah.
We are going to be going into the round of 10 here for the next 2 weeks, and then on into the round of 6 and so on and so forth.
Yeah, very self-explanatory. We went from 10 to 6. That's normal in a tournament.
I'll tell you something, man. I'm still getting used to the round of 10 format and getting the hang of it. But
do you hope that they keep that format like that?
I don't know. I would not be surprised if we do change it again in next year here. But
what do you think about just making a bracket?
Just going for the old school bracket?
Just a bracket, man. just make a big bracket.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. One thing about the round of 10 for today is that we're not going to know who's actually moving on. We'll have a better idea of who's likely to be advancing, but nobody moves ahead and nobody gets eliminated. But I do think this is an interesting way to kind of have the tournament progress and letting more players engage with each other is still when you're about halfway through the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, for pros, it's always better to get more games in, but you're definitely right. There's like
good players want more games.
Yeah, not that much tension here today because no one's going to be getting eliminated.
And so you guys can see the format over here. We're going to, in a little bit here, be hopping into the interviews with the pros, get their thoughts. They're just going to be hopping into these games.
Dude, look at that. Yeah, the ties are broken in the following order. Overall win point difference, overall number of map wins, match win between tied players, win point between tied players, number of map wins between the tied players, tiebreaker match best of 1. I guess if that goes in a triangle because it can only be a 3-way tie, then you go to the coin toss, Tasteless. But that's where the Protosses really have the advantage.
Another thing to keep an eye out for here as well is we're going to be going from Group A, then when we come back in here on Thursday, over to Group B.
Yes.
So, again, throughout this whole week, we're just going to basically see Group A and B start to develop, see where the players are starting to size up. But, again, the final scores are really going to be coming in the following week. And we're ready for that interview. Andy, go ahead.
And every game and every match matters in this round of 10. And we're going to have an interview with the 5 players competing in today's Group A match. And they definitely are looking forward to this Group A match as it's going to be very instrumental to their overall success. Alright, so on my right there are 3 players, and they have made it to their second consecutive round of 10 this season. And on my left are 2 players who are going through the full league system for the first time. Alright, we're going to talk to Hero first. So Hero, as the last season's champion, you will be starting in this full league round of 10. And Hero is a comfortable player for you on the right side or the left side from your perspective. He's on my left for sure. That's right. Since you were the last season's champion, I'll give you an exclusive opportunity to ask one player a question. Who do you want to ask a question, Hero? Well, I want to throw a question to Solar, my first opponent today. I mean, Solar's momentum is looking so good right now. His form is skyrocketing. So, against me today, how does he think of the possibility of him winning? What's the probability? Then Solar, what are your chances of beating Hero today?
연습이나 온라인 대회였으면 100%.
Well, if it was practice or online match, I'd say 100% for me.
오프라인 대회라서 반반 봅니다.
But since it's an offline match, I'd say 5 to 5, a 50% chance.
반반 보셨는데요.
All right, Solar, a burst of confidence there.
100%라고 하시네요. 자, 이재선, 신이범 선수
Alright, I want to ask a question to
두
Bunny and Ragnarok. You guys are so close to each other. You guys are so affectionate. You guys always practice together, and you always mention each other's names during the interview. You guys always say each other's presence is instrumental to your success. So you guys are going to be playing against each other in the first match.
이재선 선수 어떠세요?
So how do you guys feel about each other?
희범이랑 이번 연도 특히 좀 계속 만나는 것
I mean, this
같은데
year I've been playing against Ragnarok a lot,
그만큼 또 희범이랑 이번 연도 연습도 되게 많이 했거든요.
so I've been able to
그래서
practice with him a lot.
연습하듯 편안하게
So I'm just gonna play comfortably today like I do in practice.
어차피 그래도 10강이면 꽤 높은 무대인데
I mean, the round of 10 it's a
지금
it's a
신이범 선수 마스크 속으로 계속 웃고 계시는 것
it's a pretty hard
같거든요.
round.
너무 좋아서
I'm just
웃고
gonna
계시는
play
것 같은데
comfortably today.
어떠신가요?
Then what about you, Ragnarok?
네, 만나서 좋아요.
I mean, it's
네,
always very nice to
왜냐하면은
play against him because
일단 편하게 할 수 있고
first I can
그리고
play
이제
comfortably, and secondly,
저희가 자주 만난다는 거는 잘하고 있다는 뜻이기
I mean,
때문에
although we do meet
서로
frequently, that
좋은 것
means
같아요.
we
네,
have a lot of
두
success in
분다
GSL at the same time. So you know, I'm really happy to play against him.
강민수 선수 앉아 계시죠.
Alright, so on my
보면
left are Solar
그리고
and Gumio.
지난 시즌 성적과 기세가 좋았던 이 세 선수에게 도전자 입장이라고
And now
할수
you're going to be
있는데
taking on the role of being a challenger this time in this group.
사실 좀 외로우실 것도
So
같고요.
Solar, I think you're going to be
지금
feeling pretty lonely
CJ 밭에
in this
둘러싸여
group.
있는데
You're
좀
surrounded
경계가
by
많이
very
되시나요?
strong players. So how do you feel today?
저 오심 제 기준으로 오른쪽으로 있는
I mean, from my
세
perspective,
명이서
the three players on my
개인적으로
right,
교류도 많이 하고
I've been able
자주
to
만나가지고
interact with them,
세 명이서
encounter them in
경험을
ladder
해가지고
matches a
1,
lot.
3등으로 올라갈 그 공리를 하고 있을 것 같은데
And they're probably thinking about
뭐
advancing as the first, second, and third place.
한 명은
I have a feeling two of them are going to advance, and one of them
한 명은 좀
are
떨어져야
going to
될
have to
것
get eliminated
같다.
today for me to
지금 가장
advance.
크게 신이범 선수가 지금 너무 크게
And
웃으셔가지고
Ragnarok is
혹시
here
소감이
laughing like
어떤
crazy
이유로
right now. So
웃으실까요? 좀
why are you
찔리시는
laughing?
걸까요?
What was the reason behind your laugh, Ragnarok?
근데 좀 찔리긴 해요, 사실. 왜냐면 두 명은 4강
I think I think he was talking about
저도
me.
가보지 못했고 그리고
I think Solar's mentioning Hero and Bunny as the two candidates to move on.
잘한다고 생각을 하지 않기 때문에 그렇게 생각하는 것 같긴 한데.
I mean, he probably doesn't consider me as a good player.
근데
That's why he
민수가
said that.
잘하는 건 좀 그렇긴 해요, 사실.
But you know, it's kind of ridiculous how Solar says
고병재
that.
선수
Alright,
우승자
Gumiho.
출신인데 전역 후에는
You were a GSL champion before. You have that trophy under your belt.
지난 시즌 우승자
And you made it here to the round of 10 after your military service.
고병재 선수가 이 태태전 개념을 좀 많이 전해줬다고
And Gumio,
들었거든요.
it feels like you grasped the
좀
TVT
어떤
concept a
선수가
lot.
가장 까다롭다고 좀
So
꼽을 수
which
있을까요?
player do you think is the trickiest to play against here?
사실 안 까다로운 선수가 없긴 한데
I mean, there is no
그래도
tricky
이제
player.
재선이랑
I mean, there is like
박정희가
everybody
좀
is
많이
tricky.
중요할 것 같아요.
So you know, at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to play really well.
첫 경기이기
And the
때문에
first
좀
match
부담이
against Bunny
있다.
is gonna
자,
be quite difficult in
이번에는
my
우리
view.
선수들 얼마나 양심적으로 손을
Alright,
보여주실지 모르겠는데
I want you guys to be very
간단히
candid
OX 퀴즈 한번
with your interviews this time. It's gonna be an OX quiz.
질문을 듣고 마음에
So you guys are gonna listen to a question, and then you guys are either gonna put up an O or an X.
솔직히
All right, here comes the first
조성주가
question.
있는 B조보다는 김준호가
Rather
있는
than the group that
A조가
consists
낫다.
of
하나,
Maru
둘,
in Group B,
셋.
this group is way better. Please hand up. Circle
한
or
명
X.
빼고 전부 O.
All right, so everybody except Ragnarok put up an O.
김준호 선수
All right, and Hero.
4명 중에 3명이 나 우승자인데 내가
You
조성주를
know,
잡고
out
우승을
of 4
했는데
players,
지금 3명이 들었단 말이에요. 이 상황
I mean,
어떻게
3 players
받아들이시나요?
have put up an O. So could you explain?
사실 제가 저번 시즌 성주를 이기고
I mean, honestly,
했다지만
you know, I beat Maru
성주가
last season and got to be the champion. But you know, if you have a look at Maru's history in GSL, you can never
우리 재선
underestimate him.
선수 분명히
So that's
아까
why I think
저한테 조성주 까다롭다고 했던 것 같은데
Group A, Group
이렇게
B is harder.
사회생활을 잘하시는지 몰랐어요. X를 드셨네요.
Okay, you put up an X, Bunny. What is that?
준호 형 둘 중 놓고도 보면
I mean, if you have a look at Maru and Hero, Hero is definitely a more comfortable player to play against.
제
But the rest of the members,
할 만할 것
I think
같아가지고
are more
그래서
difficult compared to
네.
Group B.
자, 두 번째 질문
All right, here comes the second
드려보겠습니다.
question then.
10강에 테란이 5명이
In the round
올라온
of
건
10, we have 5 Terran
솔직히
players.
맷발이다.
So do you
하나,
think they
둘,
made it
셋.
because of the map? The map being OP for Terrans.
네, 오늘 혼자 또 이재선 선수
Alright, so
X를
Bunny is the only
하셨는데요.
player with an
그럼
X, and the
이재선
others
선수
all put up an O.
X를 드셨어요.
So Bunny, you put up an X.
맷발
What is that?
아닌가요?
So do you think the maps are not that good for Terran right now?
봤는데
I mean, I had a look at all the matches.
저그랑 토스 때
It's not the Terran players are really great. It's more like the other race players are playing bad. So that's what I
그럼 이
think.
상황에서 강민주 선수가 정리를 해주면
Dan
될것
Solar,
같아요. 맵발이 이긴 있나 봐요.
What about your thoughts on the
말이
maps?
말도 안 되게 있죠 일단.
I mean, the maps are so OP for the Terran players.
중에 저그가 테란이 싫어하는 맵을 2개를 빼고 이제 3판 2선제를 하더라도
I mean, even if the Zerg vetoes 2 Terran favorite maps,
구조가 말이 안 된다고
the Zerg
생각하고
still
일단
is
10명 중에
unfavored in the best of 3. So that's kind of ridiculous.
근데 이런 적이 전에 없었잖아요.
So I don't think this
누가
has
봐도 맵발이지 않나.
this has ever happened before. So I do feel like the maps are OP for Terran players.
사실 조성주 선수도 절대 아니라고.
I mean,
맵이
Maru,
워낙 빠진 것
he
같다고
said
이렇게 말하는
that doesn't make any
상황에서
sense. The maps are fair for all races.
고병재 선수는
Then
오래
Gumio,
드셨어요.
as a Terran player, what do you think?
저는 맵이 좋다고 생각하는 건 이제 토스전이고.
I mean, I think the maps are good for against Terran, against Protoss players,
하면 또 잘합니다. 어차피.
but against Zerg players,
저그는
it's not really
맵을 안 타요,
favored for
제
Terran
생각에는.
players.
어떻게든 다 방법이 있기 때문에.
The Zergs always have a way.
저그전만
They always have
가져가고
way
생각해보면
out.
맵발은 아니다. 이렇게
So you know,
생각합니다.
strictly looking at the Zerg matchup, I don't think it's really. I don't think the maps are really great for Terran players. And as I said before, every match, every game is instrumental to the overall success in the round of 10. So any closing thoughts from you, Hero?
네, 일단은
Well, first of all,
하고 다음 시즌인데
you know, this is my
진짜 징크스
season
없이
after
이렇게 10강까지 온 것만
winning the GSL.
굉장히 만족스럽고
You know, I'm really satisfied
오늘 근데
of making it to the round
현장
10.
와보니까 긴장이 꽤 많이 되더라고요.
And you know,
그래서
coming here, I feel a lot of pressure. I feel the
경기를
nerves.
치렀으면 하는 그냥 바람이 있는 것
You know,
같아요.
so today I wanted to try to play without any nervousness. Then what about you, Bunny?
열심히 준비했고
I mean, I prepared really well.
편한 마음으로
I'll try to play comfortably and try my best.
또 한 번 신이범 선수 빵 터지셨는데요. 신이범
Okay,
선수.
Ragnarok laughing right now. I don't know why, but
열심히 준비
what
안
about you,
했다고
Ragnarok?
했는데 준비했다고 해가지고 좀 당황스럽네요.
You know,
저도
Hero said he didn't prepare that much,
오늘은
but he actually prepared really
재밌을 것
hard.
같아요.
So it's kind of weird how he says that.
하기 때문에
You know, I'll be playing against
빨리
Bunny in the
하고
first
싶고,
match.
네,
I want to get into it right now.
해서 좋은 성적 거두겠습니다.
I'll try to have good results at the end of the day today. All right, then what about you, Solar? You
올라왔는데
know, it's been quite a long time since I last made it to round 10.
좋은 성적 나올 것 같아가지고
You know, I think I can only have good results if I play comfortably today.
경기 잘 끝내고
So, you know, I want to have good results at the end of the day. And then lastly, Gumiho.
오늘이 좀 고비라고 생각되는데.
I feel like today is gonna be a very important moment for me.
꼭 1등으로 올라가고.
And, you know, I want to advance as the first place at the end of week 2.
기대해 주시고요.
All right, we look forward to your matches. And then we're going to have a look at the match sequence.
All right. Yeah, let's get into this, man. I'm excited. We're going to be starting this off here with Bunny versus Ragnarok. And it's going to be fun to see how exactly this plays out. We've had some interesting developments in the matchup. We had, you know, Command Center first trending a little bit more, which led into some pretty strong two-base plays. Some of the Koreans have kind of joked about this sort of being the OP build, is basically coming in there. Because if the Zerg doesn't open up with some way to punish that, there's really not a whole lot they can do.
No, definitely you're right about that. You have to kind of already be countering it when you scout it.
Yeah.
There's no reaction to it once you see it.
I do think Bunny is maybe a little bit better than Ragnarok right now.
I think so.
But I don't know, Ragnarok, I mean, he's probably one of the cheesier players we've got here in the tournament, so I would...
But he did so well in the last couple seasons, right? Like, he's hitting that round of 6 over and over. He's winning a lot of groups.
Yeah, you know, maybe I have a... You know, sometimes because we've casted these guys for so long...
Look, I'm with you. I think Bunny's better, too.
But I might be living a little bit too much in the past. Like, I've casted too many games where he did die out years ago that I got to really appreciate that he has leveled up a little bit now.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, I think as Ragnarok, someone who's had such a historic, cheesy take on the game, and I mean, honestly, he's played so many cheesy games in GSL to get as far as he's been getting. It is hard to put him against, to correctly value, I guess, where his skill is at. By the way, I gotta say, I did like Bunny's interview quite a bit. When she asked if it was the maps that got all the Terran players, like so many Terran players in this round, he was like, no, the Terran players are playing well, and the Protoss and Zerg players are not playing well. It's like the most Terran thing anyone has ever said.
Yes. We're going to go to Inside and Out for Map 1, Data C for Map 2, and I think it is very likely we're going to have a Map 3. We're going to be going on Stargazers Artosis.
Yeah, all right.
That's us and the people watching, man.
We are Stargazers.
We are Stargazers. And that game is loaded up, so we are going to start our first best of 3 in the round of 10 here in Group A. Let's go.
Right.
Team NV, Bunny.
Jeez, that voice took a Valium before saying that name. What is that? Team NV, Bunny.
Alpha X, Ragnarok.
Don't get too excited. All right, very quick pull coming out of Ragnarok. How can I tell? Look at his eyes. No, we have two monitors, guys.
Now,
I can tell by the look on his face
yes,
he was
that's
going to
right.
rush.
Yeah, judging from how he's squinting right now, definitely going to be a rush. Yeah, so it's going to be pool early here, but welcome, guys. Thank you guys for coming down. We love the signs. We love you, and we're so happy to have an audience again.
A lot of foreigners here.
Forever. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, the memories. Jinro tank pushes.
Yeah, MKP with the splitting, an ST memory. Great memories all.
Hell
Thank
yeah,
you guys
dude.
very much for coming down.
So we don't have Terran going for you know, that kind of macro gamble build. We're getting the CC first. And when I was casting this with State, we would see pool first and think, oh, well, this just counters CC first. It doesn't even seem like it quite counters CC first.
I think it really doesn't seem that way. It's kind of a funny thing. And when that happens, like, I mean, someone might come up with something that actually does counter it, right? Like,
it seems like the problem is basically that we have, if you do try to counter it, they don't go for it, then you have a whole other problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and so it's kind of funny that the matchup right now is at this point right here. But in this game, it was a quick tech into gas here, and then a pretty speedy expansion after that, but not the same build that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. So kind of a slightly more old school build here from Bunny, but it's good to rotate this type of thing in as well, right? Like Ragnarok, if I had to put my money on who might come up with something that would punish, Ragnarok would be a pretty good guess, right? Like
Nice,
he already is a cheesy guy.
Nice kill on the SCV. So this is kind of funny. There's 2 CCs coming here.
Oh, yeah.
So that's, I feel like this isn't the normal order that you would see this teched out, right? You go into tech and then double CC. So, like, you're really working with not much right now. But if you could pull all this stuff off, you're going to have a really good economy and have a clean tech. You won't have much of a base army for a little bit. But, yeah, I don't know if I've seen quite this sequence like this.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it like a little bit. It's, you know, it's about as greedy as you can really get, just like reactor 3CC. And I mean, anytime you see something like this, it's like pretty obvious you've got to do like a massive, massive push. You're powering up towards, like, see how he's going to eBay now? Like we're getting pretty far out there.
Yeah, this is
like, this is the greediest thing you could ever see. So what we should see is Bunny trying to kill Ragnarok on 2/2 upgrades.
Yeah, you know, it is funny to me that Bunny's doing this against Ragnarok specifically, because Ragnarok does seem to have a big proclivity to just attack or try to do something to end the game. And if you were to try to do something like that, you could probably kill a player like this, right? At least on paper, that makes sense.
Probably.
And so, but for now, it doesn't seem like Ragnarok's doing anything particularly aggressive at all. He's just going to develop. So there's going to be a very strong push coming out here from Bunny later on.
He is going up into 6 roaches.
Oh,
right?
is he going to keep making?
But this is consistent marine production. I feel like the 6 roaches, you're happier if they went like reactor marines, but then swapped it and got like 4 Hellions or 6 Hellions, right? Like that's where I think the roaches are going to shine a little bit more. So it's quite clear that Ragnarok really doesn't know exactly what Bunny is up to here, which actually makes Bunny's build even stronger.
Yeah, this is this probably shouldn't do that much. The Marines are going to go ahead and run back here. I feel like he just has enough. So an incredibly unimpactful move here from Ragnarok.
And now it's been a pool first that, you know, it slows you down a little bit, but he did get the SCV, so it wasn't all lost. Into 6 roaches, that really didn't do anything, and now he's just making more roaches. So I think if Bunny plays this correctly, like if you look at this kind of mathematically how it's going to look, Bunny is going to have a gigantic advantage.
To be honest, I think he will just push out and kill him, and it's going to be an extremely straightforward game.
Yeah,
I don't think there's much else to it. Yeah,
Ragnarok like needs Bunny to either throw some units, or I don't even know or what. Like I want to be like either do this or that, but it's like yeah, I think Bunny has to literally waste army here. And if Bunny just sits, if he defends, and the Roaches don't really do anything, the upgrade advantage plus the macro advantage is like ginormous.
Yeah,
of course,
this is. I mean, this is a very bad-looking situation for the Zerg, and I think that should become even more self-evident when the actual attack comes out here. But you know what? Bunny's game plan is to basically just sit back, like Artoza said, let these upgrades come in, and this may be just like a one-blow kill. In a game where, frankly, we haven't really had that much interaction between the two players at all.
Yeah, very little so far, which is, it's been correct, right? Like on Bunny's side, of course, it's correct. And then Ragnarok, when he saw the count of Marines, he knew that he was not going to get any damage done with those Roaches. So he did pull them back. But he's made like a fair amount. Speed is about to finish. I would be surprised if he doesn't push out and just see if there's anything to be done. But I don't know that there is.
Okay, so Stim is going to finish. That doesn't necessarily mean the push is coming yet, but we'll see. He may start it up. And there's going to be a decent amount of Roach Ravagers here. The fourth base is now being taken, and we're going to get very close to that. A very common timing for the first big attack from the Terran is basically to try to take down their fourth base and play a control game from there. Now, he picked up in the medevac. I think the Roaches could see that. So, yeah, kind of an odd move there.
Now, I love these 4 Roaches being sent off to the side. This is a really good move from Ragnarok. He is going to bring 8 Marines over, but then the other Roaches come up to help. Like, Ragnarok is playing tactically very, very, very well right now. But how much damage will he actually get done? It's not that much.
And you got to be careful with Roach Ravager. It's not very good at retreating against Stim Marines. I'm actually kind of surprised Bunny didn't commit a little bit harder onto that. And so we've got 1-1 almost about to finish here.
Yeah, the 2-2 for Bunny is going to be finishing up, and I think that his attack is going to be kind of ridiculous when he actually goes. He's going to go out with the medevacs, and he's playing against Roach, so there's not a lot of risk here. It's not like this is not what his build is necessarily designed to do, but when you're playing against Roaches, why not?
Yeah, I mean, you have more freedom to move around. You know, if there's Mutalisks in the game, then suddenly you have to be a lot more cautious as you drop around here. Although I don't think this game is going to go with much more drops. I do think eventually he wants to do this push. We see armor level 2 about to finish.
Yeah, and he's got those 2-2 upgrades. He's not even maxed out at this point, but that's okay. Like look at this. His army supply is higher than the guy who went Roach.
Yeah, think about that. That's a funny way to put it.
Yeah, and he's gonna like 1-1 is about to finish for Ragnarok. But he's still up 2 upgrades against the Lings, and he's up 3 upgrades against the Roaches. Like this is
rough, man. Now the Ling counterattack is probably the best that the Zerg can try to do, and he's actually going to attack in here where the Banelings are morphing. Now, these Lings are going to cause some economic damage, but the truth is that the Terran army has already been manufactured. The Zerg has to stop this, or the Zerg will lose the game. The Terran can basically deal with some damage back at home and recover later on.
The Ling counterattack is doing really fantastically, but I don't think he can actually hold on to this hatchery. So who is actually taking more damage here? Ragnarok is still going to be on 3 bases. He got a 4th in the top left now. So this hatchery goes down, but the drone count is still very, very healthy here for Ragnarok, and his economy is pretty solid.
Well, I think the Terran can just keep pushing in over here. Really well-positioned siege tanks here. Actually connecting what looks like onto Bane's connecting onto other tanks as well. I mean, I do feel like the muscle is still there for Bunny. Like, he's still going to be able to come in here and chip away. Ragnarok has expanded up into the top left.
Yeah, the one problem for Bunny, I think, is he's been out of medevac energy for a little bit, so he's getting softer and softer and softer. He does have some reinforcements coming, which is really important. He ended up losing all the tanks in that push. Another one is joining up. 3-3 is on the way, and kind of hilariously, armor is way ahead of his attack, so a little mistake there for sure.
Yeah. You know, he's pushed into an area it's not that easy to get into, but basically if he can get to where the creep is in the upper left side of the screen, That's where all the hatchery rally points are going to be kind of mixing into each other. So that would be huge if he did that. He's going to back up now, though, and try to delay that counterattack. And I got to say, these other counterattacks, it's starting to add up. I'm starting to think that maybe Ragnarok is actually going to be able to break free from this.
Yeah, I mean, he was in a tough position when you look at like the way that the game developed from the beginning. Like Bunny had a better opener and a better mid game, and that push that he just did was very strong, but it was like the perfect amount of lings in the counterattack. Really, really well done there. Ragnarok holds on. He's like taking smart positions. I like it. Like, I think we do underestimate Ragnarok, honestly.
Yeah, he's making it work kind of in spite of how much we really liked Bunny's build. And I mean, I'll stand by what we said earlier. Bunny's build looked really powerful, but
yeah,
if Bunny can't get the killing blow off here, then this game's going to go on, and you know, it's going to be a Zerg game.
Yep, it's going to be a Zerg game.
In a Zerg world, Artosis.
Yeah. Always has been, always
Zerg
will be.
Game in a Zerg world. Yeah, you know, basically Ragnarok kind of just laid back. He went to the farthest reaches of the map, and, you know, it's hard for Terran to push up to the very, very top. But we're going to see another push come out here. Yeah, let's not give up on Bunny in this game.
Yeah, the game
just
is certainly not over. Yeah. Certainly not over. He's actually floating a 4th command center out now.
Yeah, much needed 4th command center.
Who knows? Maybe soon it'll be time for him to only turtle and wait for Ragnarok to run out of minerals.
That's what
always
I'm
my
wondering.
favorite part of a TVC.
Yeah, when he's like, well, I can't kill him, so he has to kill me.
Yeah. I mean, it's logic,
I get it,
right?
I get it, yeah. Okay, Zerg's going to be coming down again. 6 o'clock base is fresh, just now taken. You know, with the tanks placed the way they are, I don't know if Zerg can actually get in there. It may be unwise to try to push.
It's a good pullback time right now from Bunny. There's not a lot else that he can do. Ultralisk Cavern actually coming up.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
I do want to point out, like, there's not really that many more places Zerg can take without the Terran being very able to push it. If you look at the way this map is shaped, that base that was already killed, that's being retaken. That could be killed again here if Bunny has a strong enough push. But where else is Zerg going to go?
Yeah, the 3 and 9 o'clock bases are rather close, so those are going to be really scuffled over. But yeah, I mean, 4-base Terran against the 5-base Zerg, he's going to be fine for now. Ghost Academy coming up. Concussive Shells just now. That's actually, I think that must have been a mistake. He should have had that before. But yeah, Chitinous plating, a lot of Lings and Banes coming up here for Ragnarok. Does have a Viper or 2 mixed into this army. It is a scary group of units coming over here, but some great blinding clouds go down.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty insane amount of Banelings. They are going to go ahead and spill down, take out the planetary. And I got to say, a pretty remarkable attack here from Ragnarok, but ultimately, Bunny is going to have enough. And now, from this moment, this could be a big time for Bunny to pivot here.
Yeah.
Stop turtling. And I think go in here and just take this base out.
Yeah.
You know, it looked like for a while Ragnarok was going to, not be killed off because he just kept expanding further and further away at the top. But we're kind of past that point, right? Those bases are going to eventually mine out.
Yeah.
Bases like this are where the future for the Zerg is, and it's being taken out once more.
And it's incredibly important for him to take this out as well. Like, if he was not able to do that, the game is basically over. Like, he lost a base, he needs to kill a base. He's going to kill this other one as well. That was optimistic, that hatchery. And he continues to keep a little bit of pressure on here. Still has much higher army supply. The first Ultra's starting to pop out. You know, it was a big amount of army that Ragnarok spent. And he is having a little bit of a hard time getting it back.
Well, really in this game, the burden is now on Ragnarok. Ragnarok needs to grow. There's a very simple way Terran ends this, and it's just that he keeps the Zerg on those few bases at the top of the map here. Lings and Banes are coming in here, but I think if Terran continues to kite here and just trade effectively, I think that he's probably going to be fine, right? I mean, the hatchery's going to have to be restarted, but again, if you look at it, there's really only one place Zerg can get to. And by the way, every base after this one, let's pretend that Ragnarok keeps this and the game goes on.
Yeah.
The other bases are even harder to hold.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very true.
This seems to be a fairly good map for Terran versus Zerg.
Bunny said it's not because of the maps. The Terrans are playing better Tastes.
Yeah,
so. Don't you ever question that.
Oh, yeah, sure. How dare I? Now, Liberators are coming up. And the problem right now is that, he can't engage with this without trading out a certain amount of his units. And Terran, a great targeting with the tank on the base. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to see right there. Some nice splitting and running back here, leaving some Marauders in the front. Really nice control, I think, here from Bunny.
Yeah.
Really playing very well.
Yeah, beautiful game, really.
And look at this. There's like the army of Ragnarok is so garbage right now. Like, look at it. An Ultra, a Roach, 2 Ravagers, 23 Lings. It's like you're not beating anything with that army. And
yeah,
it doesn't seem like it's going to get any easier for him either.
It's funny because the Terran could basically slowly keep expanding here. He's really just leaning heavily on the Zerg side of the map. That's it. GG Bunny takes the game.
Yeah, well done. Well done. I think Ragnarok, everything in the early and mid game did not go well for him. That one Ling counterattack really gave him, it brought him towards parity with Bunny, I think, but was not quite enough. Bunny did a great job of just reducing that base. And the attack Ragnarok did, it actually reminds me of a lot of his, like the one that killed that planetary, where Bunny then counterattacked and Ragnarok couldn't really field an army. That reminds me of a lot of his ZVP games. Yeah. Where he'll be like, all right, we're going to do this one push here, and it's got to do it. But he couldn't refill his army. That was the problem.
Yeah. Good game here from Bunny. And a super greedy build. It's kind of amazing Ragnarok didn't die earlier, but that shows, he is able to go tit for tat here against a build that strong. But yeah, ultimately he just ran out of map. Didn't have anywhere else to soak up resources, and so he couldn't do anything. We're going to go now over to Data C here for map number 2 as Bunny versus Ragnarok continues on.
I can do this all day. Believe me when you hear me say I can do this all day.
Do it all day, Arthos.
All night at this point.
Yeah. Still state, I'm like, well, I could do this for like maybe 4 hours, but then I get tired.
Team NV, Bunny.
There's almost nothing I can do all day.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's nothing I really want to do all day long. Like, I need breaks on everything.
Yeah.
Alpha X, Ragnarok.
I feel like this is like an elven poet saying the names. Alpha X, Ragnarok.
Storybook voice. I actually got confused for a second.
I'm excited about these.
Okay, all right.
I'm excited about these new maps, by the way, Tasteless.
Yeah. Look
the
at this.
attack looks really cool.
This is for a little bit I'm like, oh wait, is a Zerg at the top right? And then I'm like, oh, this is a proxied hatchery.
That's a lot of SCVs.
Is that the right number? He has to know.
What he's trying to do is make sure it does not finish, right? Because Protoss know all about this. Like, they send the 4 probes, every single one of them, every time, right?
Yeah.
But that is so many SCVs that he just wants this gone.
Yeah, if you look at the bottom, it's not going to finish, I think, in time here.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Definitely not.
Now, oh God, this is where the math actually gets kind of hard. I assume that Terran's behind because he wasn't mining minerals, but also the Zerg had to cancel the hatchery.
And that does cost a certain amount, but I like it from Ragnarok because he's playing like he's dictating a lot of what's going on, right? Even if he is slightly off from that, slightly behind, if he's practiced this a lot, how many times has Bunny practiced it? Not as many.
Not
right?
as many.
Well, actually, they are good friends and stuff, so like maybe actually he has practiced it a fair amount, in which case it wouldn't be as useful. But no, I like him taking initiative like that. And the thing is, there's like a lot of ways that can be dealt with. What if he only sends 4 down? Then suddenly maybe you get a creep tumor up, right? And that like costs a mule. And there's StarCraft is complicated. Clap my hands.
But again, you see Ragnarok open with that hatchery, and it's like, yeah, he doesn't want to play a long game. He's coming in here to slow them down in any way he can. Maybe a little bit of a confidence boost there for Bunny, just seeing that. And so it's going to be a little bit of a slow start here. We're going to see if Bunny will be anywhere near as greedy as he was before.
Well, the Fast Command Center getting the factory up now, so definitely not as marine heavy. Definitely going to be later engineering base and everything as well.
And Yeah, I mean, it could end up being almost exactly the same build as before, or we could see maybe like a little bit of an earlier push here. Now, I do wonder if there's any opportunities for Ragnarok to try to do anything cheesy here. I guess the most obvious one would be to do like a Nidus worm or something like that.
Yeah.
But
I somehow doubt he'll go for that. Like, I think Bunny's build in the first game was really nice because I'm sure that Ragnarok regrets the Roach Warren from game 1, right?
Right.
Whereas you look at this game, the Roach Warren would do better here because it's like 1 Marine and then Hellions, right?
Yeah.
And then suddenly the 6 Roaches are like, oh, damn, you got to make a bunker, you're going to lose some amount of SCVs, that type of thing. But yeah, he's kind of like primed Ragnarok to be a little bit more careful about that. Now, a couple of Hellions coming out. We do have that starport coming up before a 3rd command center, so definitely a very teched out opener.
Yep. Hellion's going to come up here, but they're going to be deflected pretty quickly here by those Queens. Cloak is coming now onto the Banshee. So yeah, a very different type of tempo here. And another command center starts up as well.
There you go, yeah. With the Cloak and with the Hellions, you know, pretty standard overall. I feel like we see
You didn't make
more
any
often.
eBays yet, right?
No.
Okay, all right.
Not yet.
That's what I'm watching for next. Is there going to be 2 more eBays put down here?
Baneling Nest coming up here for Ragnarok. Definitely skipping over any Roach Warren type play. Maybe a Lingbane Muta game from him, we'll see. The Hellions diving in here.
Yeah, and pretty well handled by Ragnarok, honestly.
Yeah.
Although I'm surprised that more of those Hellions didn't die. Good micro on both sides.
Yeah, he gets 2 drones for 2 Hellions. It's always funny when they dive in. Like, we've been diving in for 12 years now. And
I've never been a fan of the way the attack looked or sounded.
Oh, from Hellions?
From Hellions, yeah.
Me too.
I feel like it just feels slow.
You know, actually, the reason I didn't play Terran in StarCraft 2 is not because Terran is the hardest race, even though it is, but because when I very first played it during like the closed beta or whatever,
yeah,
I made a bunch of Hellions because Vultures are like my favorite unit in StarCraft 1. I made the Hellions and I was like, this doesn't feel the same, and so I went with Zerg.
Interesting. Yeah, I actually forget that sometimes that you were with Zerg. I wouldn't write it to Protoss.
Oh, I know, Taste.
I would like looked at back.
You're gonna play Protoss in Stormgate, Taste.
I know.
Like,
we're gonna figure out which one to Cannon Rush. I'm gonna play that. I'm like, which one has Dark Templars? Okay, that's the race I play now. All right. Now, the Banshees are going to come in. We want to see if he can get that many kills, but I don't imagine this is going to be too wildly impactful here. But this is a very different game that Ragnarok is bringing us to. The Spire is coming along. He's getting a lot of Lings out here. He's going to go for Muta Ling Bane, which is, I think, a much more apt kind of fighting style that also allows you to not get harassed. Or if you do get harassed with drops, you just punish it and kill it.
Yeah, and I think that it's going to do much better on this map as well. This is a bigger map, you know? Like, the mobility of the Ling Bane Muta is going to do very, very well for him. And I just like Ling Bane Muta. I like it in general right now. I think it gives you like a lot of options on how to play it. And he showed, I think the best part of his previous game was that counterattack, and that's something that this type of strategy is going to do well with, especially with the strong tactics that Rag has been showing.
Call him Rags.
Rags.
Ragarino.
Yeah. He's got to have a nickname. Like, Ragnarok is like a little bit too corny. It's like, yeah, that's where the Vikings go when they die. I'm like, okay, or the end of the world, whatever. I don't care. I don't watch the Thor movies. But, and like, it's, I don't know. Let's just call him Rags, Tasteless.
By the way, push coming in here. Classic Bunny push with the pocketed tanks. And, you know, I think this should be more manageable. I mean, he is getting some nice kills, by the way, here.
10 mutas are going to pop. That's a pretty big deal. He is up 2 upgrades right now, which is pretty significant.
The creep spread was pretty good, so he has to hack through quite a bit before he's going to be able to engage. And I think this is actually the sign of a good player. He backs up. Because I'm looking at this from our perspective. I'm like, oh, he is going to get smashed.
Yeah.
But he sensed it. He went back.
That was an excellent pullback.
I really want to
chills
emphasize this. Like, sometimes the really most impressive moves in a game is when someone just knows to retreat. It's
yes.
like, yeah, no, this is not going to work.
Yeah. And
I'm not going to blindly march across the map and lose all my stuff.
100%. Like, really, really, truly, this is a big thing that you see between like winning pros and then like just good players is like a retreat like that where you didn't even, it's not like he started to lose a battle. He just looked at what was going on. The beginning of it was good. He cleared a bunch of creep. He killed like a couple of units, like an overseer or whatever. But yeah, that turnaround was fantastic. And like he just retains all of his units.
Okay, another drop over here. Very patient game here from Bunny. And there's a lot of tension building here on the map. Now, I don't think the Zerg can really engage it too close to the Terran either, right? There's quite a bit of respect on both sides being shown here as he chases it back. He looks for an opening, says, let's back up and wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But Ragnarok is a lot bigger and a lot more present on the map. If you look at the mini-map, we never got Ragnarok this big in the last game.
Certainly not.
Ragnarok kind of got starved out. This game, he's looking a lot scarier. And frankly, and I think a lot of this comes down to the map, I feel like TVZ, the matchup, has so much about the map. And I know it's our StarCraft, the map always matters, but it really, you can like dictate a lot of the things that are going to happen in the game by looking at the shape of the map and the availability or lack thereof of expansions.
Like look at the creep spread. Look at how many bases Ragnarok already has 5. He's taking a 6th, and the creep spread is so far out.
Ooh.
Like, oh my God! The moment he put his toe on creep and Ragnarok jumps in there. I don't think honestly that was a good attack from Ragnarok, but he has such a big economy. I'm sure it's okay still. But yeah, I almost feel like Bunny right now, there's no real opportunity other than, that newer style that Ryung and Maru have really championed of sitting there and making your opponent try to kill you. I do not like any scenario that I can see right now where Bunny attacks.
Yeah, right now Ragnarok looks like the Zerg in a campaign mission where they have the whole map and you got to like build up an army and move out and get it. So I mean, this is just
Hydras are going to unburrow when he steps in the creep.
That's right. I always think, dude, you streamed yourself playing the campaign like a long time ago, and the chat was so funny. But I will never forget the moment where, like, Kerrigan makes this call to Jim Raynor, and like oh my God, big attack there. Kerrigan makes this call to Jim Raynor, and then like it's like a video call. You see her talking, and someone types in like infested cameraman, because that would mean there has to be somebody filming her. They have to have it all wired up, like just dying, man.
Oh my God, that's funny. It's like an infested cell phone for FaceTime.
There's like an infested Zerg sound guy that has to make sure her mics are all hooked up so she can talk. Like,
yeah, there are some incongruencies within that. My favorite being, of course, Zeratul nipples.
Yeah,
a race without mouths somehow has nipples.
Yeah. Oh, nice Widow Mine there. He's going to have to evacuate here. And he can just nuke that planetary. The push is coming out from Terran. They are both maxed out. So a bit of a positional trade, although obviously Zerg has way more. I actually like the idea of Terran just sweeping through the bottom and trying to get into the main.
Really?
Yeah. I do not think you're going to be able to. I don't think you're going to be able to last otherwise.
Yeah. Well, it looks terrible for him right now. He lost a base. He's down to 3 again, and it's like Ragnarok is still on like 6 base. All right, here comes the Ling Bane. Let's see how good this engagement can actually be for Bunny.
I mean,
looks like maybe not good enough, Tasteless.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Terran did really well back there. The splitting was so good.
Like, we're at 89 drones. He's going to remake all this. And that group that we have out here, like, he needs to reinforce fully, but I don't think he can.
Yeah, we might be going to game 3 here. And Zerg is already about to max out. We're just waiting for these Banes to finish.
And don't forget, when you see this, like, equal supply, like, Banelings are half a supply, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is not roaches.
It's easy to forget.
He is fine as far as his army goes.
I mean, without that base at 12 o'clock, or I guess in between 12 o'clock, dude, he can't do anything. I mean, I think we're going to be in game 3 in no time. This is a 3-base Terran to a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-base Zerg.
Jeez.
7-base Zerg right now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Ragnarok is dominating. Definitely using the right strategy here with the Ling Bane Muta. Looks like he is starting to pop out a few Hydralisks here. Like, I guess you could switch into Ling Bane Hydra if you don't want to use the mutas anymore, which, yeah, I don't think there's any problem with that, especially if your opponent's going like Marine Marauder Mine type of composition. The mutas are going to be a little bit less strong, and the Hydra's actually pretty good against that.
Okay, we're stimming, we're coming forward here. And again, it's just hard to imagine any position where Terran can hack and solve their way through so much of the stuff that the Zerg has. Zerg is basically able to take fights poorly and probably still win, and trade it efficiently and probably still win.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you on that, Tasis, considering his economy is over twice as large right now. Like, the income is ridiculous. It's like 1,500 versus 3,800. That's crazy. Ragnarok he has complete control of everything. The thing is, Bunny has, like, a lot of supply still. He's got good upgrades and everything, so yeah, you stay in the game and you try to make something happen, but it feels like a long shot. You know, I think, you know, the pullback he did was really good, but then we were talking about how maybe you need to just go into that turtle mode, and instead he's been a little bit more active, and the activity has not played well for him.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a brutal game. But again, I mean, I think the map does say a lot about this. I mean, there's just such a big gap between where Terra needs to be and where Zerg needs to be safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when it's taken like 3 scans to clear all the creep.
Yeah.
To get to a hatchery, that takes so long.
And he clears out that base again. I mean, Terran is going to mine out pretty soon here.
Yeah.
I think the writing is on the wall. I don't think this can really go any other way.
Oh, that was insane! That Widow Mine, oh my god. That was a lot of Banelings.
The problem, too, is that Terran has so little of the map that Zerg can always counterattack if they want, and there's only one spot that you need to hit, where there's so much to move through. I mean, Bunny's putting up a good fight, all things considered, but, you know, it's
yeah, Terran's always weak as they spread out and get counterattacked. Like, it's just always been the case, and it's been hard here for Bunny. Like, even that 4th base that's not that far away has been killed twice already. I almost feel like by the time that you lose a planetary to Banes, you maybe should stop making planetaries. You know, unless you're in the part of the game where you have so many command centers. You know, these games where Maru has like 6 command centers sitting around a planetary, then it's fine, but to just not have any recourse when the Banelings come is always a sad thing.
I mean, basically, Zerg is just going to be extremely patient. He's going to let a few more of those Banes finish, and here we go. He's going to come in here now. Now, this is about as good of a spread as you know you could ever imagine, but the Zerg is just going to have too much. And even, you know, what the fight we are witnessing now, that's big, but the real story is in the supply number at the bottom of the screen, because everything that was killed has already been remade.
Yeah, Ragnarok instantly remaxes. Bunny does hit this top left. That's really nice. There's a lot of drones there.
This is actually kind of crazy that he got this hatchery at the top left and the one basically at like, what, 9 o'clock there?
Yeah. But Ragnarok just rehatches everywhere immediately. Like, look, he's taking bottom right, he's taking top left. Hatcheries for days. 90 drones still. And Bunny, like, doesn't... The amount of efficiency that he has to have... Look at this. Minus 35K versus minus 19K, right? So, like, his efficiency is vastly superior. Not quite 2 times, but, you know, vastly superior. But when your opponent's mining this much, what can you do? Has to be more than that.
He's going to come in again.
This is going to be...
This might be it here.
Takes out that planetary again.
Brutal game. And remember, Ragnarok opened up with a... What? I love that.
That was great.
Yeah.
He moved that so the Terran units could get through. He's like, he's blocking.
That was hilarious. Yeah, I mean, again, Zerg, the ending of the game is very simple. Zerg just keeps attacking that spot and remaking stuff.
Like, honestly, if he hadn't lost that 3 times and he had another base, I'd be like, oh, maybe. But in this situation, it's like so over, and he knows it, and Ragnarok knows it, and the people watching know it, and the people in the audience know it.
Yeah, everybody knows it. We're seeing this push come out, but again, if it's on 119 supply, I mean, when the army hatches, he's going to come over here and just clean this out. That third base is almost mined out. We see 2 sparse patches there.
And lurkers come out.
Yeah.
I mean, we can GG now, Bunny. It is okay.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I've used an expression before, but you know, sometimes you're watching a battle, but this is really like watching a lion eat a gazelle, you know?
I've never heard you say that before.
Really?
No, you say that all the time.
All the time. But it is apt. Like, it is.
Yeah.
You look at this, you're like, well, this is like, you know, just watching him get killed off here.
Well, at this point, it's like a guy eating a microwave dinner. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
There was never a chance at this point.
All right, another attack up here. 68 supply for Bunny. We're going to go on into game 3 in a second. Blinding Clouds come down. I mean, there's just nothing he can do. GG. Ragnarok takes game 2. And that means we're going to go to Stargazers, Artosis.
All right. Just the best map name that there is. Could only be better if it was called Pork Stargazers. Okay. Ragnarok, like, laughing there. He really dominated that game.
Well,
that was not
he
even close at
totally
any
murdered
point.
him. But again, I think a good map for Zerg. If you're going to go for just, you know,
Yeah.
I'm going to keep expanding.
Totally.
Bunny, you know, I don't know. I mean, nothing really worked out for him. You know, Zerg gets too big, and you know, you can't stop him. And so we're now going to close this series out with our final game, game 3 here. Bunny versus Ragnarok continuing on here as we are in the first match in Group A of the round of 10.
All right. See who is going to take this down. Obviously, this is a really important match. These are both guys that could make it into that round of 6.
All right, let's get that game loaded up.
I can do this all day. Believe me when you hear me say I can do this all day. There's nothing that I can't.
Teen NV. Bunny. Alpha X. Ragnarok.
Yeah, this is actually, I think, one of the more important matches because, right, 3 people will advance. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think Gumiho's going to advance. I do think he's a little bit weak compared to some of these guys.
Excellent. Getting off the bucket list from Australia. Welcome.
I love it. Bucket list of one thing.
That's right.
But yeah, so I think Gumiho is not that big of a threat. Like, I mean, he could make it. He's a great player, but just throwing that out there. And then if you look at it, it's like Hero is like a shoe-in, right, to get through. Like, he will definitely get through. And Solar has been playing very well. So it's like between these two, I feel like these two, like, they could both make it, but there's a decent chance one of them will make it. And then if they are hitting about that same area as far as results, whoever wins this match is very likely to be the one that goes forward. So it's just, this feels like such an important first match for the group when you kind of look at it in context with the other players. And then I get everything wrong and Hero goes out and like Gumiho wins the group. And
okay, well, you know, this map is very different from our other two in that both players start in the top and you start to expand further and further down. But I don't think this map it is different from the last map in that, you know, you don't have these two wide directions you can reach out to keep growing, which makes the Terran's job a little bit simpler.
Yeah, and one thing I like about Stargazers, by the way, is you see those bottom left and bottom right bases. Notice how they angle in a little bit.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was a straight line down, this would be like a ridiculous Zerg map.
Yeah.
Like that, because that's something that we see a lot of times when when it's not like diagonal spawns, but instead on one side, the very corner bases are like impossible for Terran to attack in the matchup. We saw that so many times in the past on various maps with that same main base layout. So like that, I feel like that's a very intelligent fix.
Yeah.
I didn't actually read like the map notes, what they were thinking the creator, but I bet you that that has something to do with it, putting that just a little bit closer.
Okay. So he's going to just swap the CC over there for now. Ragnarok, by the way, you know, I kind of talked about how he likes to have these timing attacks and be tricky, but as far as standard play goes, he looks fine.
Yeah.
You know, very able to hold his own against Bunny.
Yeah, I mean, he can kind of do everything.
So, oh my God.
Well, that's a good scout.
That was nice.
He sees the 3 racks. That's so good.
So the idea is that this is supposed to be a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing sadder than having that get spotted because Marines are already so slow. It's like, well.
Now, I think he's making a spine at those back mineral patches.
Yeah.
Because that would have been a hilarious thing if you don't have anything there to block some SCVs, mining that out.
Yeah.
Like Bunny just rolls in and kills it. So yeah, I do believe that's where that spine is going up. The Bioforce just walking towards the front, but oh, no, never mind. I guess it's just right at the front right there. Never mind.
Huh.
How many minerals are in those patches that lead
I
into those
actually
back
don't
natural?
know. I was just envisioning this funny game where, like, if it was like, even if there was a spine there, if you took like all your SCVs, you know what I mean? It's like pulling the boys, but you also need them to like mine out these minerals.
Well,
and then
here's what you really do, Tasteless, is you bring a couple SCVs over and you float a barracks over it, and then you drop mules on it so they can't target the mules.
That's so funny. So Terran's looking for a fight. Let's see if the Zerg's going to give him one. Looks like he's going to back up for a little bit now.
Definitely the right choice. You're not going to break that.
Yeah,
front.
you're just not going to get in there.
Like, look at that.
+1 attack is coming here. The starport's almost finished, so we don't have any medevacs in this game just yet.
What is this?
Ooh, gets one queen.
I'm a little bit surprised he's doing this.
This can't possibly work, right? I don't understand what I'm seeing.
Yeah, like
he needs to be careful. He could just be chased by Lings and surrounded and killed.
I don't think you can really convince me that losing Marines right now for like a queen is good. I think I would be very hard to convince. I would be that guy at the table with the sign. You know that meme?
Yeah.
I'd be that guy. Tasteless is holding my hand and I'm looking at another caster. That meme too, Tasteless.
This is brutal. I don't see this working for Terran. I feel like Banelings with speed are just going to destroy this. You know, when you don't have medevacs with the Marines, it really is a different game. You know, you don't have the flexibility to, you know, experiment with attacking them, and then if it's not good for you, you just run away. But I guess he's also getting control of where the 4th base would be.
Well, he has his medevacs just now popping out.
Yep.
And I mean, he's got a pretty solid Marine count. I feel like he should, because the Marines they scale better than like Lings, for instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the more you get, the more powerful they are. So losing any to kill like a queen there, I don't really understand. I mean, I understand he's trying to put pressure on, but I don't know if he really, like, I guess let's just see what he does with this group now that he has the medevacs.
Okay, so he's going to be coming over there again. Nice little scoop pickup. Tanks are going to be coming out here, and now, you know, he can really start to try to build pressure. It is kind of a different way of playing than what we've seen from a lot of these other games here.
Yeah.
I don't know how effective it's going to be, but keep in mind, I mean, the Zerg is kind of stuck. If you can't, a lot of times we see games where like they attack the 4th, and that's sort of the deciding moment. Okay, did Terran win, or is the game going to go on? But this is a different approach where he's basically pressuring the 4th so that it never happens.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Now he's going to pick up. He's going to dive right over here. He's going to have the tank on the outside of the mineral patch, which again is going to be a huge headache here. And this does seem to be a very weak point over here. Yeah. Oh my God, the hatch is so low. He's just going to YOLO on it.
Okay, he gets it. He gets it. He does lose actually a kind of large amount of Marines there. And obviously the siege tank going to go down.
It seemed like it was almost a great idea until he lost too much of his stuff.
Yeah.
This can be misleading. This is actually something I had a problem with when I first started playing StarCraft, like in my teens, is I didn't appreciate that, like, if I YOLO my attacking units onto an expansion, I had to learn over time, like, oh, that might, even if I kill the base, then I lose my army. That's actually worse for me. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Like, there's all these things you have to learn from playing over time, but I remember looking at that.
This is like a really interesting drop. He carpet bombs the Marines out on top of like 10 queens there, man.
Yeah, and it seems like Zerg was confident he could win that fight for a little bit, but he's killed so many queens. Is he just going to keep killing this?
No, it looks like it's over now. But he did kill a lot of queens there. But he is not really retaining his army, which can be a little bit scary. It's funny because as upgrades get finished, these smaller groups of bio, like in very small fights, actually do very well, even though a lot of times what you are looking for is critical mass. So yeah, it's an interesting way that Bunny is trying to approach this one.
Okay. He's going to come in again, I think. I mean, there's a decent amount of energy on these medevacs. He could have enough to sustain here for a little bit. And even though, we have more bases coming down to the bottom here, keep in mind that, while this base, could be replaced at the bottom, he's going to start having access to the main. And that's the other way that Zerg loses. It's not about expansions drying up. Oh, God. There's just so many Banes, though.
He gets the hatchery again. He loses all the tanks. He loses an amount of the Marines. It's really interesting the way that this one's being played out. Like, this is a fun way that Bunny is going about it, right? Like, he is non-stop pressure here.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. So, I am worried that over time, this isn't going to go anywhere for Bunny. He's cleaning up those bases, but these two bases at the bottom are just going to go untouched.
Yeah.
And it seems more and more like every time we see him attack out, Ragnarok's able to just clean it up pretty easily.
If he can snap that base real quick with that little double drop that hasn't been seen. Like, look, he's dropping up here, and that's drawing units in that direction, and now these Marines can maybe get rid of this hatchery.
Well, he's going to go for drones, and he is going to get him.
Some nice targeting there as well.
Yeah, that was pretty good. He's going to attack in here again. This is actually pretty taxing for the Terran, by the way, because you're trying to deal with two different screens and what you can manipulate around that. And, to be honest, it's you make one mistake like this. You beat me to it. I was going to say, to be honest, if you just aren't watching at the right time, you will just lose everything, and so that's what happened.
Yeah, that's a good chunk of units that he just lost right there, and that's a lot of pressure in that bottom left that he no longer has. He's getting rid of a bunch of this creep. Continues to just, like, lean on Ragnarok.
Oh, you know what's funny? This Baneling's nest is just right there. Now, I want to point out, if he could kill that and then win the fight and take out the Banes, it would be a while before the Zerg would have anything that he could combat this with. If you don't have Banes, you just probably can't win the fight. Baneling is the best thing in the game.
All right, tries to bring in some Liberators here. Hydra Queen going to be able to push that back. Yeah, I think the Hydras were actually a very good call here.
Yeah.
Just add a little bit more punch to your army here. You can maybe punish the medevacs a bit. It is a little bit harder to defend that one area that Bunny keeps hitting, but
it also is worth noting that there's actually not a lot of other places for Zerg to go here on this map. I mean, we'll probably see continued tension around that kind of backdoor base that Zerg no longer has control of. But yeah, I mean, as Terran is expanding considerably slower than the Zerg in this game, if the game goes on and on and on and on, eventually Zerg's going to probably run out of resources at one of these critical exterior points, like the one we're seeing here now. He's not watching, and this is painful. Okay.
Just in the nick of time there. All right, moving this army down. A lot of Link Bane coming in. Yeah, turns around very smartly there. That is a lot of siege tanks. This gold base in the middle. Again, a bit optimistic. It's a lot of Lings, but not a lot of anything else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think so,
I didn't see the Marines for a second. I'm like, he just has tanks there.
I'm not sure what he's trying to get done here. Feels like Bunny has done a good job utilizing that back expansion and then like just really doing this 3-base mass.
Yeah.
I think what Ragnarok needs to look for is to push this into a game where Bunny needs a 4th base, though. Because you see him running around and he's getting literally 0 done with his army.
Okay. Drives the Lings away again. It does feel like we're just about at the moment where Bunny's going to have to find a place to commit to. Zerg could have opportunities to try to counterattack this 4th base. It's going to be landed over here. this was an issue that Bunny had in the last game, and ultimately it was like how he was taken out, is that there was one easy spot to just hit over and over again, and if you hit that, then the Terran has lost, you know, half or more than half of the income.
Oh my god, look at this roll-in right here from Ragnarok. He's taking out all of the Siege Tanks. The Banelings continue to chase down these Marines. And yeah, Ragnarok gonna get on top of these last 2 Siege Tanks as well. The Bane's gonna push everything back, and that's painful for Bunny. Look at his plummet in supply here. Very little left over.
Yeah, this is gonna get worse for Bunny, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, this base being denied is actually huge. It would have been better for him if he could kill it. But, you know, Zerg has got the income here. And he's going to be able to easily remake that. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that backyard base get taken in a little bit here, too.
Yeah. Well, at this point, Bunny, like, he's going to have to start actually spending units to defend. Like, he just used a wall and his rally point for the longest time at the natural. Yeah. But here it's like, okay, well, you want to put pressure on, but your army is small, and you also need to defend this. So how do we do all these different things that you need to do? Which does open up Ragnarok to have like safer expansions and, you know, not be afraid of them necessarily falling.
Okay, so Bunny's still barely in this game, right? I mean, as long as he's got a base that's got resources at it, he's not going to try to leave this here, and he's backed up quite a bit. But I'm worried about the window of time it's going to take for him to get another army out here and try to come out and fight, and the fact that probably Zerg can just slap that down again and maybe even come in and close it out.
Yeah. Yeah, the Lurker's starting to come out. Getting all those Lurker upgrades, and I mean, he's switching up exactly what he's doing here. Definitely feels like a game where Bunny needs to kind of turtle a little bit here. You know, you might have to just split map, right?
Yeah, well, I mean...
I guess there is the possibility that he'll have a counterattack potential coming up because, like, Ragnarok is generally an aggressive player, and here he is with a bunch of Lurkers. He might Armani those Lurkers.
Yeah.
He might just run everything up and lose it.
Yeah, he might just YOLO it up there. Terran needs a 5th base here. I like the Lurkers up here, by the way. This is actually quite a headache.
That's so cute, Lurker draw. Very
by the way,
to deal
infantry armor level 3 finishing as the attack is going to come in here.
Oh my god, these blinding clouds are
these
just
are brutal,
massive.
Man.
God, he's going to be able to get that command center.
And again, you know, Terran doesn't have much to work with. It looks like he's got to float a CC over here down, just below the, you know, that position we're looking at over here. But he's lost, again, another important base that's going to allow him to have any longevity in this game.
And the income for Ragnarok looks like it did in the previous game now. He's up at like 3,800 minerals per minute.
Yeah.
Right? So that's bad. He's got the gold base down in the mid, bottom. It's... look at this, Anitis is coming up. He's getting his 3-3, more Vipers. And Bunny is sitting here at 138 supply, 49 workers. I do not see Bunny winning this game. Takes that base to the south, but like that's his 4th, right? And he's not actually mining all that much, and he doesn't have that many workers, and his army's not that good. There's a lot of problems for him right now.
Okay, oh, Knight is coming in here. This is actually where he could probably pry open Bunny. I mean, you just look at this position where it's like, oh, now he can't possibly cover all these areas. And he hasn't done anything to stop this just yet. The Nidus is going to finish. And the Lurkers, oh, just 2 are going to come out. How funny. He really wants to just make sure there's 2 Lurkers there, Artosis.
It's his favorite thing to attack that base with, is 2 Lurkers.
But it does draw some of the units away here. Nice pull over here to take those Liberators out so easily. Oh, yoinking everything over here.
Oh my God. He pulled the tablecloth under the army. Dragged it all off the table. Yeah, I mean, Ragnarok is just, he is forever maxed right now. His economy is ridiculous. He's keeping so much pressure on.
Yeah.
Bunny holds these attacks, but that's all.
Yeah.
I don't. His army is not getting better or anything like that.
No, and you know, he's done with upgrades, you know, for the main army here. But yeah, I mean, Ragnarok is continuing to soak up so many resources here. Another Nidus comes in. I think we're going to slowly see Bunny die out here. And I got to say, I'm kind of surprised. I really thought that Bunny had a better shot, but Ragnarok looking considerably stronger here. And Bunny really not able to do much of anything here in the mid game.
No, he did have a hard time. Like, he used a very alternate strategy that we don't really see all that much.
Yeah.
It's hard to just force a win onto Zerg. It was actually really fun to watch. Like, I enjoyed very much what Bunny was trying to do there. But at the end of the day, like, Ragnarok just kind of holds on and holds on and holds on, and now we're in this position that is just not winnable.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so hard to recover here. Another Nidus is going to be coming down. And really this base right over here with these two command centers, that's the last hope. That's the only thing that's keeping Bunny in this game. And it looks like right now Ragnarok's ready to close in on it, and I just don't think there's going to be enough of anything here. Oh my God, with perfect blinding clouds.
Yeah, his blinding cloud usage has been really, really good today.
Yeah, remarkable play from Ragnarok. GG. Game 3 goes to him, and he is now has one win in the best of 3 here in Group A.
Yeah, that's a big deal for him. Bunny going to be a little bit sad by that. I think he still has potential to make it out, but that's tough. Like, if Bunny is going to make it out, he needs to beat Solar or Hero, right?
Yeah.
Those are going to be tough games. It's doable, though. It's doable. He's a great Terran player.
Yeah, well, tough for Bunny there, but obviously Ragnarok, very clean play, very methodical, just slowly overcame Bunny back there. Bunny did put up a good fight in the end, but man, we got the Niduses coming up in the main, and then attacks like that in the front. It's hard to deal with. Guys, we'll be right back.